Omoa says, "Hi Luke, how could I brush up my English before taking the TOEFL test?" Let me assume, Omoa, that you've got limited time, that you're not taking the test, the TOEFL test, or any other test. You're not taking it in 6 months. Let me assume that you're going to take it in a month or 2 months, and you want to really practice a little bit. Don't focus any of your time on knowledge. If you have limited time available to practice and get ready for something, spend 0 time on knowledge. What you know, the English you know, is what you know. Don't even try to learn 1,000 more words in a very short period of time. That is not going to help you. That is not going to improve your score. I promise. I promise. Now, if you're taking it in a year, learning phrases that you can use, learning higher level vocabulary, learning sentence structures, yes, okay, then we can start talking about organizing your ideas, all of that stuff. But if you have limited time and you're just going to focus on making sure that you get a higher score than you would have if you took it today, right? You're taking it in a month or a month and a half. What can I do? What you can do is practice the skills, because practicing the skills can actually make an impact. It can have an impact on how well you do, because when you practice skills, you gain confidence, you gain comfort, things get easier, right? So for example, with the TOEFL test specifically, I believe the speaking part has 6 different sections, 6 different things that you have to do in the speaking part, if I remember correctly. So the first 2 are independent questions where they'll just give you a question and you're supposed to answer it. You have 15 seconds to prepare. You answer the question. So maybe you do 2 of those every day. If you just get used to answering those questions, then you start to build out a way of doing that in your mind. And that's certainly a skill that you can improve in 2 or 3 weeks. It's not that you're improving your knowledge, you're improving your habits. You're building out the habit of being able to hear a question or read a question and say something about it. Getting used to that is very powerful. Okay, then you might practice, for example, reading something and listening something. There are tons of TOEFL practice questions. If you're doing IELTS, there are tons of IELTS practice questions. If you're doing different exams, there are tons of practice questions, materials that can help you. So one of the questions in the TOEFL test is to read a dialogue and then listen to a lecture. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you read the lecture and listen to the dialogue. Or maybe you listen to both. I forget. Anyway, you have 2 things, and you have to think about both of them and answer some questions. Speak about the question, or speak about the materials that you listened to and that you read. Well, if you're doing that for the first time, it's kind of uncomfortable, and you may not be able to express yourself well, not because you don't know anything, but because you're not used to doing that specific thing, right? So, for example, if I am doing something that I know how to do, which is, let's say, talking in front of a camera. Okay, so I'm talking in front of a camera. And then someone changes something, like has me talking in front of a camera on a stage in front of 500 people. Let's say I'm not used to doing that thing. So I'm used to talking in front of the camera, but not used to the 500 people. So I may make more mistakes or say something that I don't want to say or feel nervous or whatever. In that situation, not because I don't have the ability to do it, but because I'm not used to doing it, and that causes anxiety and nervousness. So what you're doing when you're preparing, when you're doing the practice, when you're listening and reading and then answering the questions, or for the writing section, when you're taking the prompt and then you're organizing your thoughts in a simple outline and then writing things down. When you're doing all these things, you're not increasing your knowledge, you're increasing your comfort with that specific format, that specific way of doing that. Then, when you actually take it, because you're used to doing it and you've done it 30 or 40 times, each thing 30 or 40 times already, that's not the reason you don't do well. If you don't do well, it's because you don't have enough knowledge. So don't add to the things that might cause you to not do well. Remove the barriers. And one of the barriers is the format. So if you remove the barrier of the format and you feel comfortable with the format, you're more likely to do well. And if you don't do well, again, it's maybe because you don't have enough knowledge. But at least you feel comfortable. At least you feel somewhat confident. So you're more likely to do better if you practice that. So my recommendation, brushing up, focus only on skills, focus only on practice exercises, focus only on putting yourself in a pressure situation like you would experience in the exam, no matter what exam it is. And if you have a year, then focus on that and on the knowledge part and on the background and on the things that you need to know to do well. So that's my advice. Hopefully that helps, Omoa. Good luck if you're actually taking the TOEFL test. I hope you do well. Let us know how it goes. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget also to hit the like button or hit the thumbs up button to help out the channel. I would really appreciate that. That means a lot. And check out my full courses in the links in the description. There is a huge sale happening on those. A colossal sale, a giant sale, a sale that is rare and uncommon. So check those out.